Deep in the heart of Africa, where rivers wind like silver snakes under the moonlight and the ocean whispers ancient secrets, lives a being unlike any other. Her name is Mami Wata, the spirit of the waters, a goddess of mystery, power, and allure. For centuries, she has stirred the imaginations of villages and cities alike, inspiring both reverence and fear. Her presence is felt wherever water flows, and her stories ripple through time like the waves she commands. Mami Wata is no ordinary spirit. She is known for her beauty, her grace, and the otherworldly power she holds over the natural world. Some describe her as half woman, half fish, her body shimmering with scales that reflect the light of the sun. Others speak of her as a serpent, winding through the waters with hypnotic movement. But one thing remains constant. Mami Wata is a force of nature, both feared and worshipped, and her story is one of intrigue, seduction, and magic. The legend of Mami Wata begins long ago, when the world was still young, and the boundary between the physical world and the spirit world was thin. It is said that she emerged from the deepest parts of the ocean, where the waves met the sky, bringing with her the gift of water and the dangers that came with it. Fishermen who ventured too far from shore would tell tales of her haunting song, a melody so sweet it could lure even the strongest man to his doom. But Mami Wata is not just a spirit of destruction. She is also a giver of life, nourishing the land with rain and filling rivers with fish. She is a guardian of the waters, ensuring balance and harmony between the human world and the natural one. For those who respect her, she brings blessings, health, wealth, and prosperity. But for those who cross her, who pollute her waters, or take more than they give, Mami Wata's wrath is swift and unforgiving. In the villages along the riverbanks, people speak of her with reverence. There are shrines dedicated to her, adorned with mirrors, combs, and jewelry, symbols of beauty and wealth. Women seeking fertility or success in love often offer gifts to Mami Wata, praying for her favor. And sometimes, if the goddess is pleased, she will reveal herself, rising from the waters in a shower of pearls and silver, her eyes gleaming with ancient wisdom. However, Mami Wata's appearance is often a double-edged sword. Those who see her are never quite the same again. Some say that her beauty is so overwhelming it can drive a man mad. Others claim that she offers riches beyond measure, but at a terrible price. Her Mami Wata is not bound by human rules, and her favors often come with strings attached, strings that can pull a person into her watery domain, never to return. One such tale is that of Kofi, a fisherman known for his daring spirit. Kofi had always heard the warnings about Mami Wata, but believed himself too clever to be caught by her tricks. One day, while fishing far from shore, he saw her, a figure of unimaginable beauty rising from the depths. She beckoned him closer with a smile that shimmered like the sun on the water. Against his better judgment, Kofi rowed towards her, entranced by her allure. As Kofi approached, Mami Wata offered him a choice. He could have all the fish he ever wanted, enough to feed his village for years, or he could accept a single pearl from her hand. Without hesitation, Kofi chose the fish, thinking only of the immediate rewards. But as the waters filled with fish beyond counting, he realized too late the cost of his decision. The fish began to spoil, their scales turning black, and soon the river was poisoned. Mami Wata had granted his wish, but in doing so she had also cursed the waters, teaching Kofi and his village a lesson in greed. Another story speaks of Amma, a young woman who longed for beauty and fortune. She visited Mami Wata's shrine regularly, offering combs and jewelry, praying for the goddess to bless her. One night, as Amma slept, she dreamed of Mami Wata rising from the water, her arms outstretched, her voice soft as the tide. "Come to me," Mami Wata whispered, "and I will make you more beautiful than the stars." When Amma woke, she felt a strange pull towards the river. Dressed in her finest clothes, she made her way to the water's edge, where she saw Mami Wata waiting for her. With a graceful movement, Mami Wata handed her a mirror. As Amma gazed into it, her reflection began to change. Her skin glowed like the moon, her hair shimmered like gold, and her eyes sparkled like diamonds. She was transformed, more beautiful than she had ever imagined. But with her newfound beauty came a curse. Amma became obsessed with her reflection, unable to look away. Everywhere she went, she carried the mirror, constantly checking her appearance. She grew vain, distant from her family and friends, consumed by her own image. Mami Wata had given her what she desired, but in doing so she had trapped Amma in a prison of vanity and isolation. These stories, passed down through generations, reveal the dual nature of Mami Wata. She is both a giver and a taker, a protector and a destroyer. She embodies the mysteries of the water. Beautiful, life-giving, but also dangerous and unpredictable. Those who seek her favor must tread carefully, for Mami Wata is a goddess of balance, and she always takes what is owed to her. In some parts of Africa, Mami Wata is seen as a goddess of fertility and abundance, a mother figure who cares for her children with love and protection. Women who struggle with fertility often turn to her, offering prayers and gifts in the hopes of receiving her blessing. And sometimes she answers, bringing new life into the world like the rains that nourish the earth. In other regions, Mami Wata is seen as a trickster, a spirit who tests the limits of human desire and ambition. She is the one who offers wealth and power, but always at a cost. Those who take her gifts without understanding the price soon find themselves in trouble. For Mami Wata's generosity is not without its dangers. Despite the many stories about her, no one can truly claim to know Mami Wata. She is as elusive as the waves, constantly shifting and changing, always just out of reach. Some say that she is a spirit of transformation, able to take on different forms depending on what the person before her needs or deserves. In one moment she is a beautiful woman, in the next, a fearsome serpent. Mami Wata's allure lies in her mystery. She is not a spirit to be fully understood or controlled. People have tried to define her through stories, art, and rituals, but her true nature remains fluid. Some believe she represents the ever-changing nature of water itself, unpredictable yet essential. She gives life, cleanses, and nourishes, but she can also drown, erode, and destroy. It is this balance between creation and destruction that makes her one of the most powerful figures in African folklore. There are countless stories of people who have sought her favor, each ending differently, depending on the choices they made. One tale tells of Kwame, a wealthy trader who sought to expand his business by asking Mami Wata for her help. He visited her shrine, bringing gold and spices as offerings, praying for prosperity. Mami Wata appeared to him in a dream, offering him unimaginable wealth, but with a warning: take only what you need, or you will lose everything. Kwame, blinded by ambition, ignored the warning. He expanded his trade routes, bought more ships, and amassed even greater wealth. For a time, it seemed as though Mami Wata had blessed him beyond his wildest dreams. But soon, greed overtook him, and he began to exploit his workers and cheat his partners. One stormy night, as Kwame sailed across the ocean on his largest ship, the waters turned against him. His ships were swallowed by the sea, his wealth lost to the depths, and Kwame was never seen again. The people said it was Mami Wata's doing, a punishment for his greed. Yet for all her power and mystery, Mami Wata is not a spirit of malice. She does not punish without reason. Those who seek her help with pure intentions often find themselves blessed beyond measure. Take the story of Nala, a young mother who had lost everything in a devastating drought. Desperate to provide for her children, she prayed to Mami Wata, offering the last of her savings, a simple silver necklace passed down from her grandmother. Mami Wata, moved by Nala's sincerity, appeared to her one night. She led Nala to a hidden spring deep in the forest, a source of fresh water that never dried up, no matter how long the drought lasted. Nala shared the water with her village, saving them from famine and earning their eternal gratitude. From then on, the spring was known as Mami Wata's gift, a reminder of the goddess's kindness when treated with respect. In modern times, Mami Wata's influence can still be felt. Her image has been adopted in various forms, from artwork to fashion, symbolizing both empowerment and mystery. She is seen as a protector of women, particularly those who are marginalized or oppressed, offering them strength and guidance. Her followers, known as Mami Wata's daughters, often gather in secret to perform rituals, seeking her wisdom and blessings. These rituals are usually held near water, rivers, lakes, or oceans, where the participants offer gifts such as perfumes, mirrors, and coins. The scent of incense fills the air as they dance, moving like the waves themselves, calling out to Mami Wata with chants and songs passed down through generations. For them, she is not just a goddess of the past, but a living, breathing force that continues to shape their lives. But Mami Wata's connection to water goes beyond the physical. In many African cultures, water symbolizes the unconscious, the realm of dreams and the unknown. Mami Wata, as the spirit of the water, is often seen as a guide to the inner self, helping those who seek her to explore the depths of their own souls. Her gifts are not always material. Sometimes they come in the form of wisdom, insight, or self-discovery. In this way, Mami Wata is a goddess of transformation, both physical and spiritual. Her waters cleanse and renew, washing away the old to make way for the new. Those who enter her domain must be prepared for change, for once they encounter Mami Wata, they will never be the same again. This is why her stories often speak of personal journeys. Whether it's a fisherman seeking fortune or a woman praying for fertility, their encounters with Mami Wata mark a turning point in their lives. Even today, Mami Wata's influence can be found across continents. As African people migrated to the Americas, particularly during the transatlantic slave trade, they brought with them the stories of Mami Wata. Over time, her legend merged with other spiritual traditions, such as Vodou in Haiti and Candomblé in Brazil. In these cultures, she is known by different names but retains her essence as a powerful water spirit. In Haiti, for example, Mami Wata is often associated with the spirit of Erzuli, the goddess of love, beauty, and water. In Brazil, she is connected to Iemanjá, the queen of the ocean and mother of all Orishas. These connections show how Mami Wata's story transcends borders, her mysteries flowing through cultures like the rivers she commands. Despite her many names and forms, one thing remains constant. Mami Wata demands respect. She is a spirit of both beauty and danger, offering blessings to those who honor her and punishment to those who disrespect her. This duality is at the heart of her legend, reminding us that nature, like Mami Wata, cannot be tamed or taken for granted. Perhaps it is this balance that makes Mami Wata such an enduring figure in African folklore. She is both familiar and unknowable, a spirit who reflects the complexities of the human experience. In her, we see our desires, our fears, and our hopes, all swirling together like the waters she controls. But Mami Wata's story is not just about individual encounters. It is also about community. In many African cultures, water is a shared resource, essential for survival. Mami Wata's blessings or curses affect not just the individual, but the entire community, teaching the importance of balance, respect, and cooperation. As the stories of Mami Wata continue to be told, they remind us of the power of the natural world and our place within it. Her legend is a call to remember the delicate relationship between humanity and the environment, and to respect the forces that sustain life. As the years passed, Mami Wata's presence expanded beyond just rivers and oceans. In some regions, she began to represent not only the physical waters, but the flow of prosperity, luck, and fertility. Communities that lived near large bodies of water began to associate her with wealth, attributing their good fortune and successful harvests to her blessings. In these areas, people would leave offerings on riverbanks or even send small boats filled with gifts out into the water, hoping Mami Wata would accept their tokens of gratitude. One particular village, nestled on the shores of Lake Kivu, became renowned for its deep reverence for Mami Wata. The villagers believed their continued success in farming, fishing, and trade was directly tied to her goodwill. Every year, they held a grand festival in her honor, a celebration filled with music, dance, and offerings. The highlight of the festival was the release of small boats laden with fruit, flowers, and coins into the lake, carried away by the currents in a symbolic gesture of their respect. But not everyone believed in the power of Mami Wata. In the nearby city, many scoffed at the villagers' devotion, calling it superstition. One man, a merchant named Biko, thought he could outsmart the goddess. He would often mock the villagers, saying, "Why do you offer gifts to the water? It gives nothing in return. I take what I need and give nothing, yet I am rich." But his arrogance would soon be his undoing. Biko's wealth came from trading goods across the lake. One day, he set out on a journey with his boat filled with valuable spices and textiles, boasting to anyone who would listen that Mami Wata held no power over him. As he sailed across the calm waters, a sudden storm arose. The once clear sky turned dark, and the waters churned violently. Biko, unprepared for such a sudden shift, struggled to control his boat, but the winds and waves were too strong. As the storm raged on, Biko caught a glimpse of something in the water. Mami Wata, her figure half submerged, watching him with calm eyes. Her gaze was neither angry nor kind, but it was enough to send a chill down Biko's spine. In that moment, he realized his mistake, but it was too late. The storm swallowed his boat, dragging it beneath the waves. When the waters finally calmed, Biko was gone, and so was his fortune. The villagers would later say that Mami Wata had claimed him for his disrespect. Stories like Biko's serve as a reminder of Mami Wata's power and the dangers of arrogance. But not all encounters with her end in disaster. There are just as many tales of her bringing prosperity and love to those who show her proper reverence. In one such story, a woman named Siti, who had long struggled with infertility, prayed to Mami Wata for help. She offered the goddess a beautifully woven cloth and sat by the river, singing songs passed down by her ancestors. That night, Mami Wata appeared to Siti in a dream. "Your heart is pure, and your desires are true," the goddess whispered. "Go to the river at dawn, and you will find what you seek." The next morning, Siti went to the river and found a small basket floating on the water. Inside was a tiny, delicate flower with petals as white as snow. Siti took the flower home, planted it in her garden, and within a month, she found out she was expecting a child. 9 months later, Siti gave birth to a healthy baby girl, whom she named Amina. The child was said to be blessed by Mami Wata, growing into a wise and kind woman who would one day become a leader in the village. Siti's story spread far and wide, and women from neighboring regions came to the riverbanks, hoping to receive Mami Wata's blessing. Mami Wata's influence isn't limited to those seeking wealth or fertility. In many stories, she is also a protector, particularly of women and children. In one legend, a village was plagued by a band of ruthless invaders who sought to take control of their land and resources. Desperate for help, the villagers turned to Mami Wata, offering her gold and food and praying for her protection. As the invaders approached, a thick mist rose from the river, covering the village in a blanket of fog. Confused and unable to see, the invaders stumbled into the river, where Mami Wata's voice echoed in the mist. "You dare harm those under my protection?" she asked, her voice filled with both power and serenity. The river rose up, dragging the invaders into its depths, where they were never seen again. The villagers were saved, and they credited Mami Wata for protecting their home. In many cultures, water spirits like Mami Wata represent both life and death. They are the guardians of life-giving water, but they are also the gatekeepers to the other world, where souls pass after death. For this reason, Mami Wata is sometimes associated with both birth and the afterlife. In some stories, when a person dies near water, it is said that Mami Wata comes to guide their spirit to the next world, leading them with her song. Her connection to the afterlife has made Mami Wata a figure of both comfort and fear. Some see her as a compassionate guide, gently leading souls to peace, while others fear her as a reminder of the unknown. Either way, Mami Wata holds a unique place in the cycle of life and death, a symbol of the continuous flow of time, much like the rivers she inhabits. Over time, Mami Wata's image evolved, blending with other spiritual traditions. In the Caribbean, she became associated with spirits like La Sirène, a mermaid figure in Haitian Vodou, and Yemanja, the ocean goddess in Brazilian Candomblé. These spirits share Mami Wata's dual nature, protective yet unpredictable, offering blessings but also requiring respect. Mami Wata's reach is not just limited to spiritual traditions. She has become a symbol of empowerment, particularly for women. In art and popular culture, Mami Wata is often depicted as a figure of strength and independence, a goddess who does not conform to societal expectations. Women who identify with her see her as a role model for self-reliance, beauty, and power, embodying the idea that women can control their own destinies. This sense of empowerment is especially important in regions where women have historically been marginalized. Mami Wata's legend gives them a figure to look up to, someone who can be both nurturing and strong, compassionate yet unyielding. Her stories encourage women to embrace their full potential, just as Mami Wata commands the waters with grace and authority. Despite her widespread influence, Mami Wata has always retained an air of mystery. Even those who worship her cannot fully predict her actions. She is a spirit of contradictions, both feared and loved, known and unknowable. This ambiguity is what keeps people returning to her, offering gifts and seeking her favor, hoping to glimpse a bit of her power. The rituals surrounding Mami Wata vary from place to place, but they often include elements of water, mirrors, and dance. Mirrors, in particular, are significant as they are believed to reflect not only one's physical appearance but also the soul. Offering a mirror to Mami Wata is seen as a gesture of self-reflection and honesty, a way of showing her that one is willing to face both the beauty and the flaws within themselves. In some regions, rituals to Mami Wata are held on boats, with participants drifting out onto the water to feel closer to her presence. They sing songs in her honor, their voices carried across the waves, and pour libations of water, wine, or rum into the river or sea. These ceremonies are meant to connect the physical world with the spiritual, to remind people of the delicate balance between nature and humanity. For many, these rituals offer a sense of peace and belonging. In a world that is often chaotic and unpredictable, Mami Wata provides a connection to something greater, something constant yet ever-changing. Just like the waters she rules, Mami Wata's mystery continues to ripple through generations. Some say that even in the modern age, she walks among us, disguised as a beautiful stranger or hiding within the depths of the seas, waiting for those who seek her favor. In coastal cities and bustling markets, there are whispers of chance encounters with her, a sudden flood of wealth or an unexpected change in fortune, all attributed to Mami Wata's influence. Whether she is seen as a savior, a seductress, or a spirit of fate, her presence never leaves the minds of those who live near the water. Among those who have claimed to meet her is a man named Ade, a humble sailor who made his living ferrying goods along the Niger River. One misty morning, as Ade navigated the familiar waters, he saw her, Mami Wata, standing on the riverbank, her long hair flowing in the wind, her skin shimmering as if bathed in moonlight. She called out to him, offering him riches in exchange for a promise. "Give me what you hold most dear, and I will give you the world." Ade, unsure of what to make of the vision, hesitated. What did he hold most dear? His family, his livelihood, his freedom? The question weighed heavily on his mind as he sailed closer to her. But before he could answer, Mami Wata vanished into the mist, leaving him to ponder the price of his desires. From that day on, Ade was haunted by dreams of the water spirit, always wondering if he had made the right choice by not accepting her offer. His story became a cautionary tale, a reminder that Mami Wata's gifts often come with a price too steep to pay. Even in places far from rivers and oceans, Mami Wata's legend persists. In bustling cities and remote villages alike, her name is spoken with a mixture of awe and caution. Urban legends circulate about people who encounter her in the most unexpected places, perhaps in a crowded marketplace or on a rainy street corner. She appears as a stunning woman dressed in fine clothes, her beauty so captivating that it stops people in their tracks. Those who follow her are said to be granted incredible wealth, but many who do so disappear, never to be seen again. Some interpretations suggest that Mami Wata's mystery is a reflection of humanity's own desires. She embodies temptation, the lure of quick fortune, and the consequences of giving in to greed. Just as water can be both life-sustaining and dangerous, so too can our deepest wishes lead us to fulfillment or destruction. Her stories warn of the risks of overreaching, yet they also hold the promise of abundance for those who seek balance in their lives. As time passes, Mami Wata continues to evolve. In contemporary art, music, and literature, she appears as a symbol of power and resilience. Artists paint her with flowing hair and shimmering scales, capturing her enigmatic nature. Musicians sing of her beauty and mystery, their melodies mimicking the ebb and flow of water. Writers use her as a metaphor for the complexity of human emotions, the pull between desire and caution, the constant flux of life's tides. One such modern tale takes place in Lagos, where a young woman named Yemi, struggling to make a name for herself in the competitive world of fashion, stumbled upon a small, hidden shrine to Mami Wata. Drawn by an inexplicable urge, she left an offering of her favorite bracelet, a gift from her late grandmother. Later that night, Yemi dreamed of the goddess, who handed her a shimmering piece of fabric and whispered, "Create from this, and your name will be known." When Yemi awoke, she felt inspired to design a new collection, and within weeks, her work caught the attention of influential designers. Her career skyrocketed, and she credited her success to the goddess's blessing. Yemi's story, like many others, speaks to the ongoing relevance of Mami Wata in the modern world. She may be a figure from ancient folklore, but her influence remains palpable. Whether seen as a spiritual guide or a symbol of ambition and creativity, Mami Wata continues to captivate the imagination of people across Africa and the diaspora. Yet, while her blessings are revered, Mami Wata's dual nature remains a cautionary reminder that not all gifts come without consequences. In many tales, those who become too attached to the material wealth she offers often face tragic endings. Such is the story of Amadou, a fisherman who was once the wealthiest man in his village. Thanks to Mami Wata's favor, he became so obsessed with his riches that he neglected his family and friends, isolating himself from the community. One fateful night, Mami Wata appeared to him in a dream, warning him that his greed was leading him down a dangerous path. But Amadou, blinded by his wealth, dismissed her words. The next morning, his fishing nets came up empty for the first time in years. Over time, his fortune dwindled, and the once proud man was left with nothing. Amadou's tale is still told in the village as a warning to those who seek too much from the water spirit. Despite these warnings, Mami Wata's allure remains as powerful as ever. Her beauty, her mystery, and her connection to the forces of nature continue to inspire devotion and respect. In some regions, she is even seen as a figure of environmental protection, a guardian of the water who punishes those who pollute or disrespect her domain. Conservation efforts in certain African communities have been inspired by her legend, reminding people of the need to protect the natural world. Mami Wata's connection to the environment is not just symbolic. In recent years, as the world has faced increasing environmental challenges, such as water scarcity, pollution, and climate change, her story has taken on new relevance. Activists have invoked her name in campaigns to protect rivers, lakes, and oceans, seeing her as a powerful ally in the fight for environmental justice. They argue that, just as Mami Wata demands respect from those who rely on her waters, so too must humanity learn to respect the planet's fragile ecosystems. Her figure has become a rallying symbol for those advocating sustainable practices and environmental responsibility. Schools and community leaders in certain regions incorporate Mami Wata's stories into lessons on ecology, teaching the importance of balance and reverence for nature. In these teachings, Mami Wata serves as both a warning and an inspiration, urging people to live in harmony with the water that sustains life. And so, Mami Wata continues to flow through time, her legend evolving with each generation. Her stories remind us that the natural world is full of mystery and power, and that we must tread carefully if we wish to benefit from its gifts. She is a goddess of abundance and destruction, of beauty and danger, embodying the dualities that exist within us all. As the waters continue to ebb and flow, so too will the tale of Mami Wata, forever captivating the hearts and minds of those who live in her shadow. Whether feared, revered, or embraced, she remains a powerful symbol of life's greatest mysteries. The push and pull of nature, the delicate balance between want and need, and the ever-present reminder that some forces cannot be controlled. In every ripple of the river, in every crash of the ocean's waves, Mami Wata is there, a silent, watchful presence, waiting to offer her gifts to those who approach her with humility and respect. And for those who forget, her lesson is swift and unforgiving. Nature, like Mami Wata, must be honored, for it is both our greatest blessing and our most dangerous adversary. As modern storytellers weave new tales of Mami Wata, her influence spreads to broader audiences, transcending borders and cultural lines. Filmmakers and authors from around the world have embraced her as a symbol of the unknown, an enigmatic figure who stands at the intersection of myth and reality. In these new interpretations, Mami Wata becomes more than just a local deity. She becomes a global icon, representing the mysteries of life, the unpredictability of nature, and the eternal search for balance. In a contemporary novel set in a bustling African metropolis, Mami Wata appears as a mysterious figure, guiding a young girl through the challenges of city life. The girl, named Zara, struggles with the loss of her mother and feels disconnected from her roots. Through a series of dreams and visions, Mami Wata appears to her, leading her back to the river where her family once lived. There, Zara rediscovers her connection to the water and her ancestors, realizing that Mami Wata's power lies not only in material wealth, but in the strength of family and tradition. Such modern stories reflect a deeper understanding of Mami Wata's multifaceted nature. While earlier tales often focused on her role as a giver of wealth or a punisher of greed, newer interpretations explore her spiritual significance. She represents the unseen forces that shape our lives, the emotions, dreams, and inner strengths that guide us. In this way, Mami Wata becomes a metaphor for personal growth and transformation, a reminder that we must look within to find the answers we seek. In one such story, a young artist named Kofi, struggling with creative block, finds himself drawn to the sea. He spends hours sitting by the shore, watching the waves and sketching the ever-changing patterns of the water. One evening, as the sun sets and the sky turns a deep purple, he sees her, Mami Wata, rising from the water, her eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. She smiles at him, and in that moment, Kofi feels a surge of inspiration like never before. That night, Kofi stays up until dawn, painting and sculpting, creating works of art that capture the essence of the ocean and its mysteries. His newfound creativity brings him success, but more importantly, it reconnects him with the natural world. Through Mami Wata, Kofi learns that art, like water, must flow freely. It cannot be forced or controlled. It must be allowed to move, shift, and take on its own shape. Mami Wata's role as a muse is not limited to individual artists. Across Africa and the diaspora, she has inspired entire artistic movements. Painters, sculptors, and musicians draw on her image to explore themes of femininity, power, and nature. Her duality, both nurturing and fearsome, makes her a compelling subject, representing the complexities of life and the human condition. One famous piece of art, titled The Eyes of Mami Wata, depicts the goddess standing in the middle of a storm, her eyes glowing like lightning in the dark sky. Her hair flows around her like the waves of the ocean, and in her hands, she holds both a bouquet of flowers and a sharp silver dagger. This contrast, the beauty of the flowers against the danger of the blade, captures the essence of Mami Wata's nature. She is both life and death, creation and destruction, always in balance. The connection between Mami Wata and femininity is a central theme in many modern interpretations. As a powerful female deity, Mami Wata has become a symbol of female empowerment, representing independence, strength, and beauty. In cultures where women have often been marginalized, Mami Wata stands as a figure who defies societal expectations. She is free, untamed, and unapologetic herself. In one modern retelling of her story, a group of women, all struggling with different aspects of their lives, relationships, careers, and self-worth, come together to form a support group. They call themselves Daughters of the Water, inspired by Mami Wata's strength and resilience. Through their meetings, they share stories of the goddess and find strength in her image, using her as a symbol of their own potential to overcome adversity and embrace their true selves. This collective empowerment is one of Mami Wata's most enduring legacies. Her stories remind us that true power lies not in wealth or material possessions, but in self-awareness and inner strength. For women especially, Mami Wata's tale offers a powerful reminder that they, too, can command the waters of their own lives, navigating both calm seas and turbulent storms with grace and courage. Beyond gender, Mami Wata's symbolism has expanded to include broader themes of social justice. Activists in African and Caribbean communities have adopted her image in campaigns for clean water, environmental protection, and human rights. They see her as a guardian of nature and a symbol of the need to protect the Earth's resources, especially in regions where water scarcity and pollution threaten livelihoods. In one powerful demonstration, a group of young environmentalists in Lagos created an art installation on the city's shoreline. The installation featured a giant sculpture of Mami Wata rising from the polluted waters, her hands outstretched as if pleading with humanity to stop the destruction. The installation, titled Mami Wata's Lament, was a stark reminder of the environmental crisis facing the world, and it drew attention to the need for urgent action to protect the planet. The environmental connection is not new, of course. Mami Wata has always been linked to water, and her role as a protector of the environment is a natural extension of her mythology. But in the modern era, this aspect of her legend has taken on new importance. As climate change and water shortages become pressing global issues, Mami Wata's story serves as a reminder of the consequences of disrespecting nature. This environmental focus also reflects a growing understanding of the interconnectedness of all life. Just as Mami Wata is both a giver and taker of life, so too is the natural world, both fragile and powerful. Her stories teach that we must respect the delicate balance of the Earth's ecosystems, for they sustain us, but they can also destroy us if we push them too far. Mami Wata's modern resurgence speaks to the timelessness of her story. Though her legend is ancient, it resonates with the challenges and hopes of the contemporary world. Whether through art, activism, or personal reflection, people continue to find meaning in her tale. She remains a symbol of mystery, power, and transformation, guiding those who seek her through the ever-changing waters of life. As we move deeper into the 21st century, Mami Wata's story continues to inspire new generations. She is a reminder that the past and present are always connected, that the myths of our ancestors still have relevance today. In a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable, Mami Wata offers a sense of continuity, a reminder that, like the water she controls, life is always in motion, but it is also cyclical. And so the tale of Mami Wata flows on, carried by the currents of time and memory. From the rivers of West Africa to the bustling cities of the modern world, her legend endures, captivating the hearts of all who hear it. She is both a spirit of the water and a symbol of life's greatest mysteries, a force of nature, forever watching, forever waiting, always ready to offer her gifts to those who honor her. Mami Wata's influence stretches far beyond her origins, finding new life in global popular culture. Her image has appeared in films, music videos, and fashion, blending ancient traditions with modern aesthetics. As African art and stories gain more recognition worldwide, Mami Wata has become an icon of African spirituality and mythology, celebrated not just as a myth, but as a powerful figure in contemporary culture. Fashion designers have drawn inspiration from her, creating collections that mimic her flowing, water-like grace, with vibrant blues and shimmering silvers symbolizing the connection between femininity and nature. In one haute couture show in Paris, a collection titled Tides of the Goddess featured gowns adorned with shells, pearls, and fabrics that seemed to move like waves. The models wore makeup designed to make their skin glisten, reminiscent of Mami Wata's ethereal beauty. This merging of mythology and fashion showcased how Mami Wata's tale can transcend its origins and influence global art forms. Similarly, musicians across Africa and the diaspora have invoked Mami Wata in their work. From Afrobeat to hip-hop, her spirit appears in lyrics that speak of empowerment, mystery, and the deep connection between humanity and nature. One popular artist from Lagos released a song titled Water Woman, blending traditional African rhythms with modern beats, paying homage to Mami Wata's enduring presence. In the music video, the artist wades through rivers and dances on the shores, embodying the free-spirited essence of the goddess. Filmmakers have also begun to explore Mami Wata's story on the big screen. A recent film, simply titled Mami Wata, follows the journey of a young woman who, like many in the folk tales, finds herself caught between the material world and the spiritual realm. The film blends drama, romance, and supernatural elements, portraying Mami Wata not only as a water spirit, but as a force of fate that shapes the destinies of all who encounter her. In the film, the protagonist, Aisha, is a modern-day journalist struggling to uncover the truth behind a series of mysterious disappearances near a coastal village. As she digs deeper into the legend of Mami Wata, she finds herself drawn into the spirit's world, discovering that the line between myth and reality is thinner than she ever imagined. The film's striking cinematography captures the beauty and danger of the water, reflecting Mami Wata's duality as both a nurturing and fearsome force. Such modern interpretations of Mami Wata showcase how her story continues to evolve. As more people around the world become aware of African folklore, Mami Wata's tale becomes a bridge between cultures, a way for people to connect with both ancient traditions and contemporary concerns. Her story speaks to universal themes: desire, power, and the human relationship with nature, making her a compelling figure for artists and storytellers across the globe. In literature, too, Mami Wata's presence looms large. Writers from Africa and the diaspora have reimagined her tale in novels, short stories, and poetry. Some have depicted her as a feminist icon, a goddess who challenges patriarchal systems and embodies female independence. In one popular novel, The Waters of the Goddess, Mami Wata appears to a young girl who must choose between following the traditional path laid out for her or embracing her own desires. The novel explores themes of autonomy, freedom, and the power of the feminine spirit, all through the lens of Mami Wata's mythology. Mami Wata has also inspired speculative fiction, with authors weaving her story into fantastical worlds where magic and myth collide. In these tales, she is often portrayed as a guardian of the oceans, defending the natural world from those who seek to exploit it. These stories reflect contemporary concerns about environmental degradation and climate change, with Mami Wata standing as a symbol of resistance and protection. Her presence in these narratives is a reminder that the old myths still have relevance, offering wisdom for modern-day struggles. Academics have also taken an interest in Mami Wata, studying her role in African religion, mythology, and culture. Scholars explore how her legend has shaped community practices, rituals, and even economic activities. In some regions, local economies have developed around the veneration of Mami Wata, with fishermen, traders, and artisans participating in rituals to seek her blessings. These rituals, while rooted in tradition, continue to adapt to the needs of modern life, showing the resilience and adaptability of Mami Wata's worship. Furthermore, Mami Wata's image has been used to raise awareness about the importance of water conservation. In areas where access to clean water is a growing concern, activists have adopted Mami Wata as a symbol for their cause. They argue that just as the water spirit demands respect, so too should we respect the Earth's water sources, ensuring that they remain pure and plentiful for future generations. This environmental activism ties Mami Wata's story to broader global efforts to combat climate change and protect natural resources. In some African countries, schools have incorporated the legend of Mami Wata into their curriculum, using her story to teach students about environmental stewardship and cultural heritage. Through storytelling, children learn not only about the spiritual significance of water, but also about the practical importance of conserving it. Mami Wata's tale becomes a tool for education, passing down values of respect for nature and community to the next generation. The enduring power of Mami Wata lies in her ability to adapt to different contexts and meanings. Whether she is seen as a goddess of wealth, a muses for artists, a protector of the environment, or a symbol of female empowerment, Mami Wata's story continues to resonate. Her tale has moved beyond its folkloric origins to become a symbol of cultural pride and creativity, representing the dynamic and evolving nature of African mythology. As the world becomes more interconnected, Mami Wata's influence will likely continue to grow. Her story has already crossed oceans and continents, inspiring people from diverse backgrounds to reflect on their relationship with nature, desire, and spirituality. In this way, Mami Wata serves as a reminder that the stories we tell are never confined to the past. They continue to shape and reflect the world around us. And while Mami Wata's tale has traveled far, it remains deeply rooted in the cultures that first told it. In villages along the coastlines of West Africa, her name is still spoken with reverence. Offerings are still made at her shrines, and her blessings are still sought by those who rely on the sea for their livelihoods. Even as her image evolves, the core of her legend, her power, her mystery, and her connection to the water remains unchanged. In a way, Mami Wata herself embodies the flow of time and tradition. Like a river that carves its path through the landscape, her story has shaped the cultural and spiritual life of countless generations. And like the water she commands, her tale is ever moving, shifting and adapting to the needs and dreams of the people who tell it. As new generations encounter Mami Wata, they bring their own interpretations and experiences to her legend, ensuring that her story will continue to evolve. Whether through art, activism, or spiritual practice, Mami Wata will remain a powerful force, inspiring awe and wonder in all who hear her tale. In the end, Mami Wata is more than just a figure from folklore. She is a symbol of the enduring mysteries of life, the power of nature, the complexity of human desire, and the delicate balance between the seen and unseen worlds. Her story reminds us that there is always more beneath the surface, waiting to be discovered, just as the depths of the ocean hold secrets we may never fully understand. And so, as the waves crash upon the shore and the rivers flow ever onward, the tale of Mami Wata continues. Her mystery, her power, and her beauty will forever captivate those who seek her, drawing them into the endless depths of her story, where the lines between myth and reality blur, and the water spirit watches, waiting to reveal her next chapter.